Hey, I think we're live. Hey. Right, I think we are live. Let's just do a little bit of a check while people are rolling in. Let's have a look so we can see at the top there. There's 21 people watching. Let's just have a little nosy at what's going on in the page. Just make sure everything's going on in there. See, I'm the right way around. I can see my ugly mug in there. Wonderful. That means that we are live. Hey, Raffarts. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to say hello to a few people just before we begin here. So we've got 28 people on, 29 on YouTube and nobody on Facebook yet. They probably need a bit of notification to come in there. There's Randy. Hey, Jens, how you doing? Let's have a look. So today, like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some lessons from the book. That's what I'm going to do. Howdy. So, this book here, the whole point of the book, it's to kind of like tap into the videos I've already put up on my YouTube channel. And the beautiful thing about it is that I've kind of portioned it up into obvious sections. No worries about having to leave. It's all good. I will be reposting it. But I will say, I will be taking this down and then I'll be fettling out all the hoo-ha, the waffle and everything else like that. And we will upload it back up again. But so it'll be going back, it'll be coming down, then it'll be going back up like a balloon. Right, so what we've got is we've got some more people rolling in here. Let's see how many more people are rolling in, see where they're coming in from. So they're coming in on the Facebook page now. They must be getting notifications. So like I say, I'm going to do some lessons from the book, and I'm going to do a few of these. I'm going to do a few weeks of doing this. I don't know how many weeks. I don't want to commit because, you know, when the wife says I have to go Christmas shopping with her, I have to go Christmas shopping with her, and that's the way it works. And you know how this works probably. So, and that's coming soon. So, what I wanted to do though is I wanted to talk to you about this. Now, I've set up all the technology. It may go wrong. Okay, I'll just a little caveat. With this running all this on the screen, and it's like this is the first time doing it with this new setup, so it might go wrong, but it might go wonderfully, and that's what I'm going to hope for. This is the thing that we're talking about today. So this is the fretboard, and this is what I want to talk to you about. Now the thing is, I've got lots of notes here. I want to tell you something that you're going to go, doesn't make sense. The guitar in its standard tuning is really a 5-stringed instrument, not a banjo. Let me just say that again, not a banjo. The guitar is a 5-string instrument. Now that diagram there that I showed you, this is the simplified version of the fretboard, and I think it's the better one. I'm not a fan of the fretboard that's got all the sharps and the flats in there because that just looks like visual confusion. There's too much information. If you know what I always say about everything is, chunking is the key to success. We break things down into chunks, and then that means that we can conquer this thing, this fretboard here. So, right, but what do you mean, Ricky, that the guitar is a 5-stringed instrument? Well, many years ago, when I was a beginner, and actually I see them all the time in my music school as well, that we get these guitars in, and what it's got what's called a compensated head nut. So you've got the normal plastic head nut there, but just behind it, there's an extra fret. If you've ever seen one of those, then that would be cool. You know, if you've got one, you know, with the compensated fret there, which kind of makes the head nut a bit of a kind of a moot anatomy of the fretboard, of the neck itself, sorry. So the thing is, I thought about that and I just thought, well, it's called a compensated note. And that word stuck with me, the compensated, yeah? And this is what we're going to get into. I'm going to give you a really cool new way of looking at your fretboard. Yeah, so it's still going to be all this. Yeah, you're still going to see this, but you're going to see this in a different way because, like I say, the fretboard is a 5-string. The guitar is a 5-stringed instrument, and I think actually, if you go back in time, you know, when it was first coming from Andalusia into the English court, then the guitar actually probably was a 5-stringed instrument. So, the thing we've got to get to is that the guitar is tuned in fourths. Yeah, so we have to understand this, and this is the thing that once you understand that the tuning of the guitar is all about these fourths, then what happens is you really get to grips with why things are structured the way they are. Let me just switch back to this here. I'm going to get my pen and I'm going to do some pen stuff here. Right, so just to show you, the way we tune the guitar standard is E, A, D, G, B, E. Yeah, so we know it as elephants and donkeys grow big ears. Type the one that you know. You know, we all have our special little sayings that we do down here to remember this. We all have our special sayings for all sorts of different things. You know, our way of interpreting it. So this is it, E, A, D, G, B, E. Here's the thing I want you to go with, right? So it starts with an E. And this is where I'm going to show you where this all comes from. So we go E, F, G. And this is me getting to the end of my musical alphabet. So we go E, F, G, and then it goes to A. And you can see that what we've done is we've gone 1, 2, 3, 4 notes. So we've gone up 4 notes. Now, you can kind of think of the natural notes on the fretboard as being the same notes in C major and in A minor, because C major has no sharps or flats. So you don't need to start counting up these and thinking that to yourself that you need to get some F sharps in there or any B flats or anything else like that. We are just looking at these natural notes. We're coming from this perspective that the guitar is tuned in these natural notes. This is why there's no sharps on this diagram. This is why there's no flats on this diagram. We're only using the information that we have here because we don't want to clutter it up with everything else. Yes, Odin Stan said, Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie. Poor Eddie. So we've got that there. So what we've done is essentially we've worked out between those two there. Let's go to the next. And we can see we go A, B, C, and then we get D there. That is another 4. So we get that there. So we've got that thing going on there. Let's go from the next one. D. Let's go from there. D to G. We're going to go D, E, F, G. Boom. Another 4. It's another 4. Yeah? So we've got another 4 in that. Let's go from that now. We're going to go from the G to the B. This is where you must pay attention. Look at this. G. That's the end of the musical alphabet, which means we have to go back to A. We go back to A and then we get to B. And this was the thing. This was the problem. This was the problem I had. It's like, well, why is that like that? Why is this? It's such a conundrum. Why did they do that? And then, you know, I'm going to explain why they did it. But look, let's just finish off the fretboard because there is something going on here. So let's look at B. Right, B to E. And that finishes off the tuning of this here. B, C, D. And then what happens is we go to E. And you can see that conveniently brings us back on that pattern. But we've got this anomaly here. And this anomaly it did my head in at first. Until, and you might have seen my video where I talk about this. I talk about battle ends and down goes Charles's father. And this is really, really important that you understand what this sequence is here. Yeah, because this is a way of us seeing across the fretboard. But what it did is it revealed to me, yeah, because this here is truly in fourths. B to E, yeah, well, that's a fourth. E to A, that's a fourth. A to D, it's a fourth. D to G, it's a fourth. G to C, could you see how if we wanted it to be G, A, B, C, then to get that fourth, we'd have to do that. And then if we wanted to go from the C, D, E, F, that would give us the fourth again. Hopefully that makes sense there, guys. So this is why this is important. And what it was I thought to myself, right, decoding this fretboard, and it was just like really, really weird. You know, when you might do it yourself when you're a kid, and I know I've done this, but I'll explain. I wrote an A-level music composition based around car registration plates. And what I had to do with that is extract the letters and try and form chords out of the number plates, right? That sounds weird as hell. The music was weird as hell. But what it did is it put a kind of a visual pattern program in my head that made me look for these patterns all the time. And then once I realised that the fourths was this, I thought, well, where is it? Where does it live on the fretboard? And I could see it here, 7th fret, conveniently halfway up. Because if we look at the fretboard here, there's 0, yeah, E, A, D, G, B, E, yeah, Eddie 8 Dynamite, goodbye Eddie. And then if we look at the 12th fret, oh, hang on, Eddie 8 Dynamite, goodbye Eddie. We get the same thing again. So this, from 0 to 12, is the only territory that we need to think about. That's all we need to think about. And then this here, it's smack bang in the middle. Well, kind of. The 6th fret, there's nothing on there. But this is the closest spot. And guess what I saw? Guess what I saw? I saw battle ends and down goes Charles's. So you can see there. Now, some people get a bit confused with my accent. I say Charles's, as in Chuck, not trousers. Battle ends and down goes Charles's trousers. Nothing like that, yeah? We're not talking about Charles's trousers, okay? What we get is this pattern here. And this showed me how this fourths thing happened. And then that revealed to me, if you look here, look at this. Ends and down goes Charles's father. And you can see that what happens is it wonks. You get a wonk there. It goes wonky. We've got a wonky string pair because this is a pair of strings. The G string and the B string are a pair of strings. We've got a wonky one. The others, they're just even. They're just all horizontal, you can see. But here, they go wonky. So I needed to know why. Why was that? Why did that happen? So what I did was I thought, right, well, this is the fourths. All I would need to do then, really, to get this and make it right is take these strings here and move them up 1 fret. And this is the thing, and that I was thinking about that, is we get this 1 fret compensation. Like I said with that head note, that idea of compensating by moving up 1 fret, a half step, a semitone, whatever you want to call it, yeah, that is going to be the way that you understand this. And this is why I say, yeah, guitar is a 5-stringed instrument. Now you're going to see why in a moment, because I'm just going to show you. I'm going to switch over onto a little other thing that I've got here. Now hopefully this will work. It might go belly up. We hope it won't, but let's have a look. Here we go. Right, so we've got this here. Now we've got battle ends. I'm clicking on the wrong screen there. There we go. Battle ends and down goes. Right, now, so the thing is, when we have our standard tuning, let me just pull, I'm going to pull this up here. I'm going to pull this one up here. So bear with me. It might be a little bit small. Let me just grab everything and make it all much bigger. Let's just grab it all. and just make it just a bit bigger because, yeah, that probably makes it a bit better. And that one, 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 and that one. We've got it. Bear with me, guys. Like I say, technology. Oop, let me pull that out of there. There we go. Right, so what we have is, this is your standard tuning. And we have this. Let me just push that across there. Will that nudge a bit more? Let me just see. So we have our standard tuning there in this here. You can see we've got the 6 strings there. But what made me realise, if I wanted to maintain that perfect fourths, then what I had to do is I had to compensate by moving this. It's taking a bit of time. It's probably not the best bit of software to do this, but it's the only one I could think of to actually carry this out. You can see here that what happens is we get E, A, D, G, C. Can you see that, guys? Can you see that? If you can see that, can you see that, how that's worked there? If you can, say something in the comments. If you can see that, make sure you do that. Let's see those comments rolling in. So then that got me thinking, well, is this E string here? Is this E string? Yeah, this thick E string at the top, this corner here, you can't see my mouse pointer actually. This top E string of this chunk here on the left, right on the left, is that the beginning of this grouping? Or is it actually this B here? And then that got me to thinking, actually, let's just look at it like this. All right, let's take this over here. This is the real tuning of the fretboard, guys. Oop. This is it. This is the 5-string fretboard, the 5-string guitar. All right, and I will clarify that I actually, a friend in a band was playing a 5-string bass, a 5-string bass, and it had E, A, D, G, and the lowest string it had was a B. And I already had B as a lower string in my mind from John Petrucci, because John Petrucci plays a 7-string guitar. If you know John Petrucci, then you'll know that he plays this. It gives you a really heavy sound. So this shape here, let me just take this. Oh, I've copied it there. I don't want to copy it. Let me undo that. And I'm just going to undo that resizing because I need to take it down here. Because I want you to see what happens with this, guys. If I take that there and copy that size there, then what actually happens is, and if I put this over here, you'll see it. This is joining onto this. Bear with me with the technology. So hopefully you can see across here where it says B, E, A, D, G, C, F. You can see how those connect into each other there. C and F. So just spot where that is. Battle ends and down goes Charles's father. Yeah, which is cool because that's the order of the flats. The order of the flats. The small string on a 7th string is tuned to, no, the thickest string is tuned to B. The thickest string is tuned to B. So what we do is we take that, let's get rid of that one for now, because what we've done is we've got another one of these. Now, just to show you where that B was before, this is how it works. So hopefully you start to see that what we get, one of my tutors here calls it the infinity scale. What I just call it's the forever fretboard. So let's have a look. See, let's do that again. I just want you to see how this just carries on and it steps up like this in this constant. Let me just move that down. This constant stepping up process here. And that's how it works, which is why the guitar is this 5-stringed instrument. And this is the way to kind of think of it, right? Now, you might be saying, well, but Ricky, you know, yeah, that's hypothetical. You know, that is the one. Yeah, hit the thumbs up, guys. Show some engagement on here. I know it's hard when you're just trying to focus and everything else like that. But hopefully you can see just how this all connects. I should say that I am writing a book on the fretboard. And this stuff will all be in it with a load of other goodies on how to understand your fretboard as well. So if you're enjoying this, you might want to look out for that. I don't know when it's going to come out. It's going to be out soonish. Now, so let me put this over here. Now what I want you to do is, now we understand that that is the model for the fretboard. Yeah. Let me pull this one over here, and let me get, there's another one off screen. Let me just grab that. Can I grab it? Might go off screen a little bit here, because I've just got another two little, ooh, let's not arrange those like that. I've got another two little diagram things that I need to bring in here, because what I'm hoping to do here, guys, is I'm hoping to show you how this 5R3 thing, this is why I go on about the 5R3, because it's super important. Yeah, because it's a shape. Yeah. Now, those of you who know and love your chords, yeah, will realize, and let me just take this here. I'm going to make these bigger as well, just so it's just a little bit bigger. There, that's better. That's better. Right, okay, so we've got this here. Right. The 5R3 shape. Yeah. What we're going to do is we're just going to look at the E shape and how the E shape moves across the neck. Yeah, so because of this compensation and why we don't tune to these fourths as well, generally. Now you might say to yourself, you know, well, why don't we just save ourselves a lot of time, Ricky? Yeah, and just tune to that. Yeah, because when it comes to playing bar chords, yeah, where you put your bar, you would need another finger to help you to hold that down. It's just easier for chords. Now it is a little bit easier for scales. Yeah, it is easier for scales. And let me just show you actually, just while we're in this tuning here. I'll just shift this. Bear with me, guys, because it's worth the wait. Let me see. Can I zoom in on that? I might be able to zoom in on that, you know. Right. So here we might, in that standard tuning, if these strings here were open, we'd think that's a C major 7 in second inversion because we've got the G in the bass there. But hopefully those of you that are a bit more astute can see that this shape crops up again and again. And if I just take that shape there and I just pull it over here, you see that what we get is the E chord. It's just the E chord. And this is the 5R3 shape. This is what you hold down with 3 fingers there. So you could actually play a C chord like so. And I've got a lesson coming up on this, playing this shape here, because this is an often overlooked shape that doesn't get utilized. So essentially, as we move down one string set, from thick strings to thin strings, yeah, so we've got that there, right? We can think of that as an F. That's an F chord. That's an E chord. Now, if we switch over, remember we're in standard tuning here. This is an A minor. Yeah, that's an A minor chord. The shape stays there. Yeah, but it's changed tonality. It's not major anymore. It's changed tonality, and that's really important for you to know. And it's because of this kink. You can see the note, yeah, that is different tonality wise, because we had 5R3, fifth root major third, is this one that's on the B. So the thing is, this G to B compensation has destroyed our chords, but it's made them infinitely easier to play. Now if I move this over again, yeah, if I move this over again here, we get a diminished, not a diminished, an augmented chord, an augmented triad here, yeah? So we get a sharp 5, we get the root, and then we get a major third, yeah? Okay, hopefully that makes sense there, guys. Because, let me just show you how this works. If I was to take this over here and put it in this tuning, here, let's have a look. Yeah, come on, you can do it. There you go. Right. Right, so 5R3 is the key. So you can see here, that's a C major. Do you know what? Just for the sake of just keeping it all in the same 2 frets, what happens is we get a B major there. Yeah? That makes sense. That should make sense, actually, because if I take this note here and I put that there, you see your B7? That's really a C shape. Yeah? I'll just put it back. Just want you to just give you a little glimpse of that. Because once you see these things, there's no going back. So let's take this chord, like I say, we take it over there. That gives us the 5th, the root and 3rd, yeah, of this E chord. However, because we're now tuned in 4ths, yeah, because I've altered it so it's not B and E, it's C and F there. I don't need to do that silly shift. That there is an A major chord in perfect 4th tuning. And then this, let's just move the, oh come on, it's not playing there. Doesn't like that bit. This one here, that's a D major chord in perfect 4th tuning. Now you imagine trying to get a bar on that, and you know, some of you might think, oh, actually this might be the thing that makes the difference. Yeah, you might be thinking that. But let me just go back to this shape thing again. I like to use this as a C chord, like I say. This is why I keep putting it up here, because it ties in with the musical alphabet notes as well. You know, just a little bit easier. I'm going to swap this one out now. So we have this here. It's in standard tuning. Standard tuning there. I'm just moving that there. So that's a C major 7. Move it again. We get that E. Boom. Right. Now, ordinarily, when we move along, we get the A chord, don't we? We get the A chord. Now, if I move that shape along, I don't get the A shape, do I? I don't get the A shape, but if I take this off here and just show you what happens. You see, if you look at that compensation, that's with the compensate. That's it with it tuned in 4ths. But with the standard tuning, you're going to see how this works. And this is the importance of understanding that compensation between the G and the B strings. Anthony, no worries about watching it again and again. But the thing is, you see, can you see where that A shape comes from? Can you see where it comes from? It should look like an E shape, but because of the compensation, it's knocked it. It's knocked it up another fret. That's what we have to do when we do this. We go up a fret. Let me just take this one away. So we got that. That's the E shape, the A shape. We had the C shape, the E shape, the A shape, because I think there are 4 5R3 shapes. Really? Right, let's put this one on, yeah? So what we've got here, hang on, I've just moved this over here. If we're moving over this way, we've got the D chord. Yeah, there's the D chord. Oh, I'll get there with this. So there is The D shape. You can see the D shape is there in its little triangle. In its little triangle. But do you know what? If I put the tuning back, what chord shape does it look like? Again, it's that one that we started off with. It's the 5R3. And this is just the 5R3. This is the way it looks. But because of that kink in the tuning, that compensation there, then what happens is we get that happening. Now, the cool thing is that once you understand that, and let me just pull something else into focus here. Now, who gets that? Who understands it? Who feels that that's... You might have to take it a couple of goes to really, ingest this information. But if it makes sense, let me know in the comments, yeah? So when we are doing this, yes, James has just typed there, we will be editing the live video and re-upload as a full video pretty soon, and you'll be able to re-watch it without me waffling and all the tech things. So look, let's do it again, just to show you. This is what the fretboard is. The guitar is, well, it's 5R3 even when you're compensating. It's always 5R3. It's always going to be 5R3. Yeah, so that's the structure that we're looking at. Battle ends and down goes. Battle ends and down goes. Yeah, because what we're doing is we're tying in that saying, battle ends and down goes Charles's father. That's the important thing. Now, this is more important than you think. Like I said, I say this all the time because, on my YouTube video, as with as with anything, yeah, you get a lot of people, saying things. And it's like, well, that's silly, that doesn't work or whatever, it doesn't make any sense, it's a ridiculous way to go around your fretboard. This here, battle ends and down goes father, Charles's father, when we look at it from the perspective of the naturals, yeah, when we look at it from the perspective of the naturals, then it will make sense when we start talking about chords, when we start talking about modes, when we start talking about everything. It's all to do with this. It's all to do with this, in understanding this structure and how this compensation between the G and the B string, which adds that wonkiness, what it does to the tuning. Let me just pull this one down here so you can see here, even when I do it like that, you can see that Eddie, dynamite, goodbye, Eddie. It's hidden in there. Look, it's superimposed in it. Hopefully, hang on. No, I've changed the size of those. You don't want to spend 5 minutes watching me change the size of these things. Yeah, hopefully you can see how that makes sense there. Look, it's just one fretboard. It's just one thing there, guys. It's just one fretboard, one pattern, battle ends and down goes Charles's father. And like I said, this one is the order of the flats in key signatures. So that's why we need to know that. And that is the cycle of fourths going forwards. That is the cycle of fourths starting on the B there in the key. Not cycling through all 12 keys, I should say that. This is just going through the notes that are in C major and A minor. Yeah? They're all in there, but they're in an anagram. There is the musical alphabet in there. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It's all in there. And then if we use it backwards, we get a circle of fifths. F, C, G, D, A, E, B. Those would be your sharps and your key signatures. So this little 7-letter thing, super important. Okay. That worked. I think that worked. Did that work? You know, we've got 36 minutes into this, and what I want to do is, do you know what? I think it's a good thing to do here is to show you how this works using something that I did in another lesson, and it is a way of learning your pentatonics. This is lesson 67 in the book. Yeah, lesson 67. And this shows you exactly how this works. And I do have another lesson coming up on chord tone soloing that uses this idea. Now, when we play our bog standard minor pentatonic, we go like this. Oh, I'll just wait for that tag to go away. Thank you, James. What we get in that box one pattern, we get this here. Look, we get 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7. Now that's a pattern that we can reliably use. These patterns, because that's what we're doing. We're just looking for patterns. Human beings, we love patterns, and that's the way it works. There's some term for it, some scientific term. Someone can put it in the comments. Someone will put it in the comments. Now, if I take that there, what I'm using, I'm using 3 strings. I'm using a string set. I'm using the A string, the D string, and the G string there. Yeah, we know, because of the way we know that the guitar is tuned, yeah, we know that G and B is where we have to watch out for and where we have to compensate. I don't have to compensate on the E, A, and D strings, which means if I take this, I can play it in another position. You can see it's the same pattern. Right, okay, so we've gone. Right, okay. Look at that. This is the same thing. And now I have to compensate. I have to go up 1 fret. Let me do it up here. Might be a little bit easier to see. Now you would think that your fingers would go on the same frets. I knew someone would know that. Patternicity or apophenia. I like that one. Can you see? Compensate. It's the same pattern. So it does it with chords, does it with scales, and it does it with arpeggios. And those are the 3 pitch elements that we use to make music. Add rhythm, then that's what you got. You got those pitch, you got the rhythm, and then you got, you know, a heart full of song. That's what you need. So we take that there. That's on the D string. Well, from the G string, we've got to be careful here. Look, G string to the B string, compensate by adding a fret. Yeah, we're on to the new fretboard here. If you want to think about it like that, when you hit the B string, you're going through the cycle of 5 notes again, 5 strings again, sorry. Because if I had, could you imagine how thin the strings would be as they just kept on getting thinner as we went towards the ground and added more? It would be the B string, the E string, a thin A string, a thin D string, a thinner G string. Yeah, they would get super thin. You'd be playing some strings the width of a hair, like Tony Iommi. Yeah, so there's a thing that Tony Iommi plays 8s, you know, on his top 3 strings, apparently. So we get that there. Look. Now that's pretty cool. Now, what I like about this, it gets me in different positions on the neck. It gets me accessing different voices. Yeah, so different voices, you know, because I think of the guitar neck as being a choir. You've got the bass, you've got the soprano, you've got the alto, and you've got the sopranos are up here. Yeah. Someone said about more books. Yes, a fretboard book and a pentatonic book. That's what I got coming. So, we've got that there. There is another one. And because of the way that these strings overlap, If you imagine that had a thicker string going up towards the ceiling, that would be a B string. Then I would take that pattern and I would have to play. Where would it be, Ricky? It would be here. No, it wouldn't be there. It would. Where would it be? Because I'm starting on a D. That's what it is. I'm not thinking as a B. Right. Okay. So look, it would be here. I should play the other notes here. But if you think about it, this is the B string, the E string, the next string would be an A string. So what we can do is we could just mirror that, flip it over onto the other strings, because really we're just following that pattern. So that's the same thing. Hopefully that makes sense, guys. So that's a practical use for it, for something that you probably already use. Now, and like I say, coming very soon, there is another lesson that I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be getting into chord tone soloing. I'm going to be using this explicitly. Now, even if you haven't got the book, if you look on my channel, there are 2 videos. I reshot this one. I call it the 3 and 2. I call it the 3 and 2 pentatonic method. Yeah, because you can break the pentatonic down into 3, a chunk of 3 like that. Hang on, and a 2. And I explained that in that video. And there is a free PDF in there if you want to become acquainted with that. Yeah. If not, if you feel like buying the book, then that's great. I appreciate it. I appreciate you for doing that, supporting my work on the channel, and keeping James in employment. Right. So this is going to become a lesson. It's in the editing pool right now. It'll be coming out in the next month, and that will be all about chord tone soloing and how to put together a coherent way of chasing the notes so that you sound cool. That's essentially what it is, and we'll put that lesson out there. I think that pretty much covers what I was going to talk about today. I did have an hour planned, but if you have any questions about this, then I can answer those questions. These questions will be cut out probably at the end, unless they are relevant to the video. And yes, so subscribe to the channel. Make sure you do all that good stuff there, guys. And hopefully you've enjoyed that video enough to bash the like and do all that good stuff that you're supposed to do. And if you have any questions about this, does it make sense? Does it make sense to you? So now, when you go to the guitar shop, you're looking for a 5-string guitar. No, you're not. You're looking for a 6-string guitar. Don't tell your missus that you're looking for a 5-string guitar, because she'll bring you back a banjo. You know, unless you want to learn banjo. Yeah. Now James is praying we all buy the book. So yes. Yeah, Eyup, hit that like button. So guys, if there is nothing else, then what I'll do is I will clean this up with James. We will clean this up and then we will re-upload it and everything. And, you know, we'll see. Well, you know what? I might just leave it up for a bit like this. But if you don't want to troll through me waffling and saying hello to people, because, you know, people like to engage and have a conversation, then you're going to have to wait until I clean it up. There are some people who would say, yeah, keep waffling, whatever, but it's the way I do it. I can't. Do I have a left-handed version, or does it not matter? It's a tricky one, isn't it, Donald? Scissors, door handles. It's the bane of the lefties. It's the bane of the lefty's life, I think, isn't it? Because everything is made for a right-handed world, I think. So yeah, put your questions in the chat if you have any questions there, guys. And yeah, and do you know, we can use those as the basis for future lessons. And like I say, I'll be doing lessons from the book. I will be putting a poll in the Facebook group as well. So if you're in the Facebook group, then let's see what lesson you want next. You want me to cover. Yeah, I think that's probably just about it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate your time, taking your time out of your day to come and see my ugly mug on the internet. And if you've bought the book in the past, thank you. I appreciate it. You supporting my work. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm going to end the stream. Say goodbye. All right, bye now.